Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, Diana and the Book Hunt. Today I have another recommendations video for you, one that I'm really excited about because it focuses on dancing, something that I love to do. I used to dance more in my younger years. Now that I've been kind of homebound due to COVID, work at home, having a kid, I haven't danced too much and I'm really sad about that. I need to do something about that. So girlfriends, you know who you are. You need to take me out to dance soon. Anyway, I'm going to talk about dancing in romance books. So books that I've read which involve a dancer or some form of dancing that I want to recommend to you, ones that I've enjoyed. And I also want to mention two books that I haven't read yet, but that I'm very interested in. And I really hope that they will be up to the level of the books that I've read until now, so 4 or 5-star reads. So I'll leave those for the end of the video. And I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the plots of the books that I've selected for this videos and why you should pick them up. So let's start off with a book by an author that I absolutely love. I've read quite a few books by this author and all of them have been 4 or 5-star reads for me. The author is Emma Scott and the book is Forever Right Now. This book is focusing on our heroine Darlene, who is a dancer, and she used to live in New York, where she had a bit of a dodgy past. She had some regretful moments there that she went through, and she decides that she wants to leave everything behind and move to San Francisco to kind of have a new beginning at life and try to really go for the career that she's always wanted to go for, which is to become a dancer. And she finds a place to live where she meets her neighbor, Sawyer, who is an adorable single dad to a baby girl named, I think her name was Olivia. And he is really struggling because he's a single dad. The mom is not in the picture and he needs to do everything on his own, and he's studying for the bar exam. He wants to become a lawyer so he can provide for his little family. And Darlene is there like the guardian angel that he needs, and she offers to help him out on multiple occasions, and they really get close in the meantime. And her passion for dancing is really palpable throughout the pages, and also their chemistry and their built relationship, which really focuses on a friendship first and then building up to a more romantic plot. I really love that about this book, and there is a conflict within the book which centers around Sawyer's in-laws, so the mother and father of his daughter. They are fighting for custody, and this is where Darlene's past kind of comes to haunt them in their future. So it's a really beautiful story. I gave this one 4.5 stars when I read it. I really loved it and I definitely recommend it. It's a solid, amazing, very heartfelt, emotional, and a book that centers on dancing as well. So I definitely recommend it. For the next book, I need to mention a lot of things before I go into the plot itself. The book is called The Men I Love by Suanne Laquer. This book is really emotional, it's really messy, and it has a lot of triggers within the plot, so please look them up. Out of the top of my head, I know that it deals with a shooting, there is cheating, there is PTSD with which both of the characters are dealing, so it's a lot. There's a lot going on in the plot. And we have the main character Eric and the heroine Daisy. They're absolutely in love and really soulmates at the start of the book. They're in college and they're looking forward to their bright future. Daisy is the person who is the dancer in this specific plot. And unfortunately for them, there is a shooting that takes place that really impacts both of them in a very major way. And unfortunately for them, Daisy copes with the situation in a very destructive kind of way, which causes them to get ripped apart for many years. This is essentially a second chance romance between Eric and Daisy, and please look up all the trigger warnings before going into this one because it's quite a heavy and emotional read, but it's such a beautiful read. I think I gave this one 4.5 or 5 stars as well. I'm not sure because it was quite a while ago that I read it, maybe in 2017 that I picked this up. but it was quite an impactful read. I still quite remember it very well, that I was really heartbroken when reading their story. And yeah, I definitely recommend this one as well. Moving on to a more lighter read, we have The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams. I really loved this book when I picked it up. I picked it up on audio, and it was such a fun, engaging, and very quick read for me. The book centers around a hero and heroine who are best friends, but both of them have had feelings for each other. There's been pining on both of their side, but because they don't want to ruin their relationship, they have steered away from any romantic entanglements. And the hero is an NFL player, I think. Yeah, he's a football player, and then she is a dancer. And they engage in a fake dating relationship for specific purposes, but all of this fake dating eventually leads to more. Again, this is a very more light-hearted kind of heartwarming, also a lot of fun within this book can be found. So a lot of banter can be found, especially because you know that they're best friends, so their connection is definitely there before we even get into the romantic situation. So yeah, this one was a very, very fun one. Next up, we have a book by K.K. Allen. I have to say that K.K. Allen's books are really hit or miss for me. This is one of the hits that I'm going to mention. The book is called Center of Gravity, and it involves a dancer. I believe she's like a small town girl who moves to LA, and we have the small town girl meets the big city guy. He is a, I think, well-renowned like choreographer who doesn't really want to work with amateurs or with people who don't have the experience to work on his level, but he gets roped into working with our main heroine. And it's kind of a forbidden relationship because they need to work on a project together. He's the choreographer, she's the dancer, so it's kind of forbidden. So you have that little aspect that makes the story a little angsty and also kind of slow burn. So I did appreciate that within the story. It was a 4-star read for me, and if you're looking for a romance that is kind of forbidden, this one is a good one. Unintentionally, I've picked all kinds of different books for this list. I didn't do this on purpose, but now I'm just happy that I picked these books because each and every one of them has different aspects to it. So we have very emotional books, we have more light-hearted books, we have kind of forbidden plots like the previous book that I mentioned, and then we have a book that also has a mafia plot within it. We have Slave to the Rhythm by Jane Harvey-Berrick. This book I also read a long time ago, but when I was thinking about these books to include in this video, I immediately knew the plot of this book, so I really needed to dig into my read books to find it. But eventually I found it, and I'm so happy that I did because I can recommend it to you, and you can go ahead and pick it up if you are intrigued by this, because this is a book that I connected to very well because the hero, Ash, he is Slovenian. So he is from a country that is very close to, I think it's still considered Eastern Europe, where I'm from. So I don't know, I just felt a connection with him because of this. So he moves from Slovenia to the States to become a professional dancer, but unfortunately for him, he gets roped into the life of the Russian mob, and he does work at this club as a dancer, where he meets also our heroine Lainey, and they have a very kind of also angst-filled love story between the two of them, especially because he's really a dreamer. He wants to achieve what he has set out to do when he came to the States, but this dream is kind of getting very far away from him with the people that he's involved with, and it's just very angsty and very nice and amazing. And what I don't really remember this, so I cannot quote whether it's a good representation or not, but what I saw when I was going through the details of the book is that the heroine has a chronic illness, but I cannot vouch for whether it's done well or not because I read it maybe 6 years ago. So I need to reread this, honestly, because now that I'm talking about it, I really want to reread this. And yeah, so I definitely recommend this one if you want a more angsty mafia centered book, but that does involve a dancer or someone who is aspiring to become a dancer. So yeah, this one is a good one. All right, so these were the couple of books that I have already read that involve dancing. And now I'm going to mention the 2 books that are on my TBR that I really want to get to soon that involve dancing. The first one I've mentioned a couple of videos before. It's Take the Lead by Alexis, Daria. I've loved the 2 books that I've read by this author before. You Had Me at Ola and A Lot Like Adios. So I definitely want to read more by this author. So when I found out that this book is coming out and it centers on a plot which involves a program like Dancing with the Stars. So the 2 main characters, I think the woman is the professional dancer and the man is someone who is coming onto the show as like the celebrity, if I'm not mistaken. It really just piques my interest. I want to read something like that. I haven't read anything like it before, so I definitely want to pick this one up. And then another book that I want to pick up that involves dancing is called A Rehearsal for Love by Alexandra. This book involves a woman who would love to be a professional dancer as well. She lives in this small town where she has no prospects of chasing her dream, and she also doesn't really have a very good support system, so her family doesn't support her and she doesn't really have anywhere to practice. But then luck is on her side as some kind of like a world-renowned choreographer. Again, he opens up a studio very close to where she lives, and she has the chance of a lifetime to join this studio and make her dreams come true. So there should be a romance between herself and the choreographer. I don't know if it's going to be forbidden as well, if they're going to work together, but it sounds really good to me and I really want to pick it up. Please, please, please let me know if you have any other romances that you have read that involve dancing, because I love these kinds of books. I'm always on the lookout for a good recommendation to add to my TBR when it comes to a romance that involves music, dancing. Not so much maybe rockstar romances anymore, because I've read quite a few of those, but maybe like musicians or people who are very much into the music world, but not for the fame part of it, if you get what I'm saying. Like something like what we had with Real by Kennedy Ryan. Even though they're making a movie, there is a lot of musical aspects into that story because the actress is portraying a singer in the story, so there is a musical element to it. So stories like that, or stories that involve dancing, again, I would love any recommendations from your side, so please leave them below or DM me on Instagram as usual. And please subscribe to my channel if you want to follow my content, and I hope to see you very soon in the next one. Have a wonderful, marvelous day. Happy reading. Take care and bye-bye.